to this episode of Cardinal Film Fights. I'm your host, judge, and moderator, Mark Rollins. Today, we have Ben, Tiara, and Dean. They're going to introduce themselves, give their name, again, their year, and their majors/minors, and a fun fact about themselves. So we're going to start here with Dean, go to Tiara, and then Ben.
Hey, I'm Dean. I'm a senior. I'm a video production major and a screenwriting minor, and I play the viola. There we go. There's my one fact.
Oh, I'm Tiara. I'm a sophomore, TCOM major, film screenwriting minor, and also a history minor. And my fun fact is that I also play the viola. Not so much anymore, but I played for 6 years in like middle school and high school and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
My name is Ben, and I am a sophomore, and I'm telecommunications is my major. And fun fact about me is that, let's see. I'm also a DC fanatic.
Okay. DC, I do enjoy DC. I'm going to say I enjoy DC more than Marvel. If that lowers our ratings, then I'm sorry.
Why can't
I
we just
agree
like
with you.
both equally?
In terms of comics.
In terms of comics,
DC
yes.
Is better.
I'm sorry.
I will
bring
say
it.
in terms of movies, Marvel's
Well,
better.
we're going to get to that.
We'll get there one day.
Yeah.
It's a fight. It's a struggle. But today, the struggle, the fight, the ruckus, if you will. Ruckus, good word. I like that. The ruckus, if you will be centered around the question, who is the worst director? So the way this is going to roll, we're going to start out with 60-second introductions in which our fighters introduce who they picked, why they picked them. Then we go into the 5-minute form in which they tear each other down, build themselves up. And then we finish with 30-second conclusions in which they take all their points, wrap them all up in a nice, neat little bow, and then I make a decision as to who is first, second, and third. So for the introductions, we're going to start with Ben, then go Dean, and finish with Tiara.
The worst director that I could ever think of is Michael Bay, because not only he was some sort of director of any Transformer movie, but I just think, he made so many action movies that involves blowing up stuff or any car transforming robots. Don't you just get tired of it? I mean, what is his art form in making all those Transformers movies? Or is it just he's just trying to get profits off of it? Those movies are just, ugh.
Summed up in a very visceral vocalization there. Okay, Dean, you are next.
So we were talking just a second ago about how I think DC comics are better than Marvel, but Marvel's been dominating in film, and I think that a large reason of that is the fact that DC's entire cinematic universe has been tainted by Zack Snyder, the worst director currently making films. Zack Snyder has no redeeming value to his films. I think he picked up on the aesthetic of Watchmen when he made that and just said, yeah, I'm going to make every movie Watchmen. It doesn't matter if the tone doesn't fit the movie. I'm just going to keep making Watchmen over and over again. His films are dull and bland, and there's just no passion in it. He tries to throw in this ham-fisted philosophy into every one of his movies, and it doesn't work. And I think that even if a director is making bad films that are enjoyable, that's still better than a bad film that's boring.
Quite a philosophical conundrum there. And we'll finish up with Tiara.
So, the worst director, in my opinion, is Neil Breen. Now, if someone doesn't know who that is, maybe consider yourself lucky or unlucky, just because his films are an experience, almost. They sort of fit under the category of so bad that they're good, but it still doesn't get rid of the fact that they are bad. This man sort of doesn't exist in reality, I don't think. He doesn't understand normal human reality. And so when he makes a movie, it replicates whatever is going on in his head. And I don't understand it. Nothing makes sense. Everything's ugly. I'm frustrated just thinking about it. Now, I won't deny that I have fun watching his movies, but should we be laughing at him or with him?
Oh.
Well, let's get straight into our 5-minute forum then, starting now.
Okay. Zack Snyder and Michael Bay both. Well, I feel generally just about both of them. The movies, especially in Zack Snyder's case, are aesthetically pleasing. And that's
your opinion.
That's sort of. I think they're pretty. I think he has a decent thing going on with colors. I don't know. That's just about it.
Yeah, he loves using all those different shades of gray. He could have made a fourth 50 Shades of Grey movie just by taking the color palettes off Batman vs Superman.
I think they look nice sometimes. Michael Bay, I don't really mind. They're not that offensively bad in my opinion. Neil Breen, I feel like, has created nothing of substance. Like I said, they're funny to watch because his acting is very, who am I? What am I? It's very bad. But he acts in his movies. He does everything in his movies, essentially. But there is no redeeming factor other than the fact that they're kind of funny to watch.
Well, I may not know you're a filmmaker, but for Zack Snyder, well, if you just look at it besides all that whole franchising of all the DC movies or any movie that he would try to make, there are some art forms to it, like 300, for example, does tell that you may, I mean, that's almost told before, like from Braveheart, you may destroy us, but there's always something that will haunt you back, or something like that. And he made his director debut, Dawn of the Dead, just really, really great. I mean, it did creep me out. I mean, I thought he put good effort in the zombie thing. But Michael Bay, that is different. I mean, he kept on ever since 2007 with the first Transformer movie, he just kept it on going. Make it into a franchising film full of toys that we do not need. I mean, there's enough Transformers toys, especially before the movie, like this anime cartoon. I mean, come on, this is just, they're just toys. There's just an anime show that Hasbro just took and franchised it. Like let's just say Ray Kroc stole the idea from the McDonald's brothers and turned it into McDonald's.
I mean, they are selling toys. I mean, that's one. I mean, it's a plus, I guess. They're getting sold. I know people who enjoy the movies, whether they really legitimately enjoy them or they're just like, oh, they're sort of a guilty pleasure, kind of fun, dumb thing that I'm watching.
I mean, I can certainly argue Michael Bay, I don't think, is a bad director. I think Michael Bay knows exactly what he's making. He's making popcorn movies for audiences. He's not setting out to make great films. He knows if he puts explosions and cool CGI effects on a screen, he'll get people to go watch it. I won't lie. I saw the first Transformers movie and I was like, it's not bad. It's not anything amazing, but it's not bad. As for Neil Breen, I compare him to Tommy Wiseau in the fact that I think that Neil Breen, knows he's making bad films, and I think he's just having so much fun with it. And I can't say that a director that has so much passion and fun with their work is a bad director, because Neil Breen legitimately cares about what he's making, and his movies might be bad, but they're funny to watch. Zack Snyder's films like Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel and, God help me, Sucker Punch, they're devoid of life. You know, Sucker Punch is the only movie that he has written, and it is to date still the worst film I've ever seen. It makes me angry to sit through that film.
Is the only redeemable factor in that movie.
I kind of forgot he was in that, because that movie is just a black hole in the middle of my mind.
And Michael Bay, I mean, I just wish Michael Bay knows that life in movies is not about making stuff blow up. It's not about making money or anything. Film is mainly about art. it has some themes in the art. It has messages that it could tell you that we could build a perfect society in our own world.
Any response to that in 1 second? No, I guess not. So we'll go to the 30-second conclusions. We'll start with Ben, then go Tiara, and then Dean.
My conclusion is that Michael Bay is one of the worst directors that I have ever seen of any of his films. Like, I could see The Island, where he made, all about that cloning, but still had some action parts like motorcycle chase or anything like that, and stuff blows up or buildings blow up, but still worse.
Okay, Neil Breen, what a guy. He just has so much going on in that brain of his, and I just don't understand a single bit of it. And I guess it could be compared to Tommy Wiseau doing whatever he's doing. But at least I feel like The Room looked like a movie. Whatever Neil Breen is doing looks vaguely like home videos made with an old iPhone. So, yeah, God.
I can argue that Michael Bay has at least made a couple of good movies. He made The Rock. I would say Transformers 1 isn't awful, and he made that 13 Hours film a couple years ago that I actually thought was really good. Neil Breen, as I said, I think is very passionate about his work, and he deserves credit for that. I think Zack Snyder is everything that I hate about Hollywood. He takes what's popular at the time, and he tries to replicate it. His films remind me of the early 2000s superhero films, completely devoid of life and trying to ape what someone else did better.
Okay, any facts to check, Nate?
Dean said that the only movie that Zack Snyder has written was Sucker Punch. He also wrote for 300, Wonder Woman, and Justice League.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Okay.
Poor Justice League.
Never
What
had
a
chance.
development hell movie.
You know what I saw in Target today? I saw in a Target catalog today a picture. It was like a toy with Jason Momoa's head, but it was like the orange and green Aquaman outfit. I'm like, was that in the Justice League movie? Because I didn't. I was like, if it was, that's two completely different
It's been
aesthetics
cut
right
out.
there. Yeah, that's been in two different.
It is for the new Aquaman movie.
Is it for
Oh,
He
promotional?
looks really
If you haven't
good
seen
in
the
the
trailer.
costume.
Okay.
And like the classic
Yeah, that movie
gold
looks
and
good.
green.
Did you
He
know
looks
Zack
very
Snyder's
good.
not attached to that at all?
Oh, really?
James Wan. Woo. Okay, sorry.
So-
distracted.
So let's. I'm gonna give first place to Tiara, second place to Ben, third place to Dean. So here's my reasoning, if you want to know that. So Tiara, I'm giving you first place because I think you've argued that Neil Breen is like Tommy Wiseau, only he lacks the direction, which I didn't even know Tommy Wiseau had until you talked about Neil Breen. I think it's you made the point that Neil Breen has reached the point where he's bad, but not the point where he's so bad that he's good, that there's value to it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I would admit. So I think that's what sold me out first. Ben, I'm giving you second place because I think you made a very good point that Michael Bay is far from even trying to realize the full potential of film. He's just trying to, he's like ignoring plot and character over spectacle, which if you know Aristotle's Poetics, theater lesson here, spectacle is number 6 on the list out of 6. So, in terms of importance. So, I think you made a good point that Michael Bay is purely doing it for commercial success, which is not indicative of a good director. Dean, I think what hit you hardest is that Zack Snyder's aesthetic has worked for movies in the past. I think you said that like he made it for Watchmen, and then just replicated. Whereas replicating the same aesthetic is obviously not a very good directing technique, but it's not necessarily indicative of bad directing choices, just maybe a laziness in directing. So, and then also 300 was kind of used against you, where 300 was a fairly popular movie. So, to reiterate, I'm giving first place to Tierra, second place to Ben, third place to Dean. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Cardinal Film Fights. I'm your host, judge, and moderator, Mark Rollins. Be sure to like and subscribe us on all our social media channels, which include YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Have a wonderful time of your day.